Hey, replay viewers, be sure to check me out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Penguin6. Kind of everywhere. Right now I'm on the peak, and you're up here with me, looking down on the shadow of a cloud. That's that big black thing out there, a cloud shadow on the water. So let's go see the rest of the city, which is up around. This is only the western side. This isn't the more developed side. This is the residential small buildings. The big commercial buildings are down over here. Of course, small is about 30 floors. That's a huge bee. He's following me. Dang, look at that thing. He just buzzed me. That was like a hornet. That was like a 2-inch hornet. Wasp, at best. Up, up, up we go. Now the Great Wall is in Beijing, China. I'm in Hong Kong. Morning, Zen flames. Comments just all scrolled in one big pile there. Chimchaki today. I'd like chimchaki, but I'm a little bit late. I don't know what time it is. It's probably closer to 10. And I really have to try to get to chimchaki by 11. And I'm about 45 minutes from home, and I need to take a shower. So, not entirely sure I can get to the noodle place in time. But, because by noon, noodle place is packed. I actually was thinking Mexican tacos. I haven't taken, or for Korean tacos. I haven't taken you guys for Korean tacos in a while. Hey, how's it going? As usual. So we could do Korean tacos. We could do wonton noodles. We had pan-fried buns the other day. I think pizza's off today. It's pretty, yeah, but it's hot. It is really hot. It's 29 degrees Celsius up here on the peak, which means it's probably 32 Celsius down in the city, which is over 100 Fahrenheit. 100 American degrees. I'd like to do wonton noodles, but I have to get home, which is over there, and then I have to walk down to the central next to that building to get the noodles, and I have to do that all in the next hour, plus taking a shower, because I kind of am gross. I had Shake Shack over the weekend. If you guys look at my Instagram feed, yeah, it's 10:10 now. I don't know if I can do all this in time. If you look at my Instagram, Penguin6, you can see we went to Shake Shack with the kids. If I don't take a shower, it's going to be a little gross, because, like, I didn't shower. I woke up. Kind of gross. So let's get up on top of this hill. Another viewing point coming up in about 10 seconds when we get around these trees. Yeah, that was on my Instagram, Penguin6. I had lots of burgers and fries this weekend. Kids loved it. My son had a big soccer match. They won the cup for this prestigious soccer tournament yesterday. 29 up here on the peak. It's 32 to 34 in the city itself. Yeah, I gotta take a shower. Is Shake Shack the best burger? It's debatable. It's pretty good. McDonald's Gourmet is not bad. Though my kids did say they liked Shake Shack better than McDonald's Gourmet. A few other burgers are pretty good. I think their definition of a good burger is Five Guys. Yeah, it's just too sticky to not shower. So should we pull out the Etch-a-Sketch? So this building here is the Bank of China, and next to it is Citibank, and Bloomberg and Goldman Sachs are here in this building. Over here, this white building, that is the Bank of America. Down here is HSBC and Standard Chartered. They're right next to each other. This is Jardine's house. That's the book Noble House was basically based on Jardine's house. I think they have revenues of about 40 billion US a year. JP Morgan is right here. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is right there. This is Hong Kong Island. You're on Hong Kong Island. This is all Hong Kong Island here. This is the IFC Tower. That's where I was for the Shake Shack and the Apple Store. But over there is the ICC Tower. That's the tallest building in Hong Kong. It's a little bit taller than the IFC Tower. How do you etch? It's a sketch function. Over here you have the old airport, and they would land on this runway. But the new airport, hey New York, the new airport is way the heck over here on this island, Lantau Island. We don't really have any earthquakes. The stupid Ferris wheel that we all think is a joke is currently hiding. It's hiding. It's right here. That's the Ferris wheel. And while we're zoomed in, let's go over here. This is the People's Liberation Army. Let's get them in right front. The PLA, People's Liberation Army. That's the Chinese military. There's the convention center in Central. Hey, there's a Star Ferry. Can you see it? Toot toot. That is the iconic Star Ferry making its way over to Kowloon. And I think if we look hard enough, we'll find one coming from Kowloon back to the island. Here's another one. This is a derrick crane making its way out to the shipping areas. Here you can see the Pearl River Fleet. These are small cargo vessels that come down the Pearl River from Guangzhou, China. And they bring their materials over to the container ports, which are over here. You can see the cranes over here. And these big ships are loaded over here, and they make their way to your local Walmart or Target. I don't know when the Dim Sum Periscope meeting is up. So here you see some larger freighters, and then some trans-Pacific freighters over there coming in and coming out of the container port. There we go. Thanks for the Super Heart. We're going to turn off the Etch-a-Sketch now. Whew. Let's go over to the next viewing point. I call this the Typhoon Hot Tub Memorial Viewing Point because this viewing point didn't exist until Typhoon Hot Tub came over there. If they have Muya in Hong Kong. No, they don't have a Muya. They have a lot of different burger places, but nothing like that. See, the problem here in Hong Kong is we don't have any fresh hamburger. We have frozen hamburger imported from Australia and the States. I'm wearing my day-to-day regular shoes. These are the Asics Kayanos. I have 2 pairs of these, and I wear alternating one pair one day, the next pair the next day, as to keep the shoes properly aired out. Otherwise, they get really stinky. So now I have several pairs of shoes. I have a dark pair of shoes that I wear when it's wearing black. I have another pair of shoes I wear when it's raining. I have 2 pairs of shoes I wear when it's raining. And I have a pair I wear when I go off-road, like real hiking. I do have a baseball hat on today. Today I think it's Queen's Park Rangers. I think it's my Queen's Park Rangers hats. Do I wash my shoes? The nanny washes the shoes occasionally. I don't wash them. So the nanny will wash my shoes and put them on the dehumidifier every so often. Usually after when I get caught out in the rain, because sometimes I do get caught in a massive rainstorm. Rain comes up out of nowhere. Oh, little kid's coming. Okay, so now we're gonna take about a 5-minute break before we get back to the views. We got to hike through the jungle a little bit. This is Lugard Road, Lugard Road, here on Victoria's Peak in Hong Kong, on Hong Kong Island, in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. That's Red China to your grandfather. I'm a dad. I do dad stuff. What's at the old airport now? A cruise ship terminal has been built there. But because it's so isolated, nobody really wants to go there, and most ships don't dock there, except a few U.S. Navy ships will dock there. They're building a new football stadium, rugby stadium, that'll hold about 50,000 people, and they're going to build some housing out there. They're also building a new subway station known as Kai Tak subway station. But that won't be open for another year or two, I think. So we're trying to get back to the view of the city. Are there any golf courses? There's one public golf course, but it's on an island, and you actually have to take a boat to get to it. There are a few private golf courses that are private clubs on the weekend, but they do open their doors during the week for people to come go golfing if they want to go golfing. Now, across the border in Shenzhen, China, they have several PGA caliber golf courses, like Jack Nicklaus designed golf courses, you know, really crazy. Yeah, those videos were crazy. They're constantly building new subway lines. In fact, they're already planning another one. They're going to eventually build an entire loop around Hong Kong Island. So, gotta keep digging. Gotta keep digging. So I hear a helicopter coming in from Macau. The heliport is very busy on a Monday as everybody has to chopper back from their weekend of debauchery in the gambling casinos of Macau.
And they tried to send them to a charity, but the charity.
So hot. What else can I tell you? So it's a little late. I don't know if we're going to be able to do noodles today. We might have to go for Korean tacos, which would be good because I haven't had Korean tacos in a while. I don't think I want pizza. I don't think I want a burger because I had a Shake Shack double burger. I'm thinking of giving up French fries for the year. Yeah, that would be really rough. Because frankly, I'm pretty much addicted to French fries. Yeah, I had 2 pizzas last week, which was a bit much. Actually, I had 1 slice of pizza last night because I took my kids out for pizza, and my kid couldn't finish his. I had 1 bite. Small kid-sized pizza. Pizza Express. No, I don't cut carbs. It's just I really have to cut back on French fries because I eat way too many fries. Oh, Jesus, there's a grade school coming by here. Lots of butterflies. So I live right down there. A bunch of kids coming. What school is this? KCIS. This is an international school. This is a Chinese English international school. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm just going to hug the curb. I'm going to hit this fat kid. Whoa. It goes on forever. Hey, how's it going, Rita? See, some of these kids wear shorts. They're the smart kids. Some of the kids did not. I'm doing all right. A little hot. It's about 29 Celsius. That's like 32 Fahrenheit. Or 32 down in the city, 92 Fahrenheit. And we're up for our morning walk, heading back to the Peak Tower, where we're going to show you the view of the city once again. Right now we're looking at the Peak. I'm going to take a shower, and then we're going to get lunch. Hong Kong is calm and mellow as always. I think we might have had 1 murder last month. Yeah, we did. We had one. There was one domestic dispute that led to a murder last month. So we had 1 murder last month. And what is it now? It's 1 murder this month, May. It's May's 20th. So it's pretty mellow. Yeah. Average year we have about 20 to 24 murders. No, it wasn't. No, there are no guns here. It was actually, guy was like tied up and beaten to death and then thrown into the water, thrown into a construction site. The kids are fine. To a shower scope. That would be not very pretty. Imagine George Jetson taking a shower. Not quite there. Man, we're just like getting assaulted by butterflies today. What the hell was that? I have not seen a wild pig in about 2 months, to be honest. Maybe 1 in the last 2 months. I think they kind of have like different seasons, like mating seasons when they come out and stuff. I did, however, see a snake last week. That sucked. Yeah, I'm getting like an old George Jetson. Imagine if you just age regressed George Jetson. That's probably what it looks like. I was hearkened to see that Prince Harry is going bald, though. Don't feel as follically challenged now, knowing that the 6th or 7th in line to the throne, he's got a bald spot developing and still got to marry a hot chick. But boy, Meghan is like over 30 years old. I didn't know that. She's like in her mid-30s. Did we watch the wedding? Yes, of course we did. I have hopeless romantic as a wife, and she has hopeless romantic friends, and they were all over dissecting and analyzing every moment of the entire wedding. And then we watched it again. At least they watched it again. I watched the FA Cup final. But it's part of history. My wife is like looking at my sons, and she's saying, "Now, which one of you is going to marry Princess Charlotte?" And I'm just like, oh God, head slap. Harry is 33. And my wife looked at David Beckham, and then she looked at my ratty 5 o'clock shadow, and she's like, how come David Beckham has a 5 o'clock shadow and looks like a badass, and you have a 5 o'clock shadow and look like a bum? It's like, I don't know, Hardy. Do you want me to get a David Beckham 5 o'clock shadow machine and then shave my face so I look like David Beckham? Of course, my beard comes in gray. My hair is still more or less brown, but when I shave, when I let my beard grow out, it's really gray. I look very distinguished. I look like Sean Connery in Hunt for Red October, but again, without as much hair. Yeah, maybe. God, it's hot. So, back at the Peak Galleria, we're going to have a really good view of the city in just a moment. This will just be a teaser. I could go up to the Burger King. I have a really good view from the Burger King. But I'd rather go to the observation deck. Jackhammer. Because I'm a jackhammer. Oh, there we go. 200 spam bots. And I didn't even have to show a pretty girl. Maybe I am showing a pretty girl. Okay, let's make our way down the mountain. God, these smell really good. There's these egg waffle place next to me. Lunch today, we're having that big discussion right now. We were thinking, well, wonton noodles are always good, but I have to get to the wonton noodle place by 11:30 at the latest. And if I can't do that, no wonton noodles for me. So plan B is Korean tacos. They don't open till 11:30 at least. We're all three good-looking guys. Yeah, Korean tacos would be good. Bulgogi beef in a little corn, soft corn taco shell. Oh, it's Ramadan, yeah. Oh, that's awful. That must be tough. We actually were going to go to Dubai, and then I remembered that it was actually Ramadan, and I'm just like, I'm not going to Dubai. Though, I mean, I guess in Dubai, they cut the foreigners some slack, and they let you drink during the day, or you can stay at your hotel during the day, but you know, you've got to wear long sleeves, and it's, 42 Celsius or 45 Celsius in Dubai in the summer. And I was like, okay, you know what, let's go to Dubai in the winter. It'd be a little bit more fun. Plus, places probably be closed. You know, a lot of shops wouldn't be open. It wouldn't be as much fun. Maybe I should go through Dubai and have a trip home to the U.S. this year. Going down the mountain. Yeah, September, October. There's actually quite a bit of traffic. There are a lot of Hong Kong expat bankers who have lived in Dubai and then come back to Hong Kong or gone to New York or London. Yeah. This is amazing. The Dubai airport was like, it's like a bus station. It's like Emirates has become like the Southwest EasyJet Airlines of international travel. And the airport there was, well, it was quite surprising. I mean, I was expecting gold-plated toilets, and instead I got squat toilets with Bedouin, I mean, just out of the desert Bedouin, like in the bathroom. And I was just like, oh, so much for my visions of Dubai as being like covered in gold or whatever. I mean, serious, they were like covered in dust. It's pretty wild. Though the nice thing though is they give everybody a free baby stroller at Emirates Terminal. So if you're traveling with kids, you can get like a baby stroller at the gate. Push your kid around. Oh God, this truck doesn't know how to do it. Should I go help them? Nah, screw it. It's kind of cool. It's cool here now in the shade. Down here, to go around this mega U-turn, you've got to make a 4 or 5 point turn. You have to turn your car and then back it up. Oh, you can see the yellow truck. See this yellow truck? So he's backing into this turn. He had to do a 3 point turn here, then go back, and then come up this backwards, because there's no way you can do a straight U-turn at this location. It's just too small. So what he does is he goes in here, he pulls in straight, 1, and then he pulls back 2. Actually, it's not that bad, but sometimes they go all the way up and they go 1, so they got to go back 2, 3, 4, 5. It just depends. It's a little bit crazy how they do these turns. In the old days, the cars used to just come straight up from Old Peak Road. This other road didn't really exist. Oh, here comes this truck out. He's going to hit me. He went all the way down and turned around. He's not with the program. All right, so let's hang here for a second, because El Tramo is coming, and because it's in the shade. More so because it's in the shade. Clang, clang, clang. You need to go to a strip club. Is it legal? Dude, prostitution is legal in Hong Kong. Why would you go to a strip club? Why pay the same price for an appetizer as you do for an entree? Here comes the tram. Oh, nice breeze. So let's catch him on the other side. Whoa, I'm always going to bang my head on this thing. Oh. Looking for men, really fine men. You're in the wrong place. Why? Because there's too many women here. I mean, seriously, there is a mathematical imbalance. For every 1,000 females, there's about 750 single men. Men are extremely picky in Hong Kong. In fact, many of the Hong Kong guys will go over to mainland China because they find the Hong Kong women to be too crazy. And that just lowers the numbers even more. So coming to Hong Kong to meet a guy is probably one of the dumbest ideas you'll ever have. Sorry to say. There's just not enough of us. You know, some of us have to pull double, even triple duty, you know. I'm not joking. Hong Kong is considered the #1 site in the world to be a single man. There is literally, between the ages of 20 to 40, the marrying ages, there are basically an imbalance. There are far, far too many men and not enough women. Or I'm sorry, far too many women and not enough men. I'm a dad. I do dad stuff. My wife's a banker. I was joking about double and triple duty. God, one woman's enough. So there's my house. There's my house. I live right there. As I get a drone, I could fly down there. Anyway, we got to go down there now. We have to go this way to get down there. We have to zig and zag and zig and zag. Actually, 10 zigzags before I get home. This is Barker Road, Barker Road on Victoria's Peak. We're at about number 48 Barker Road, I think. So if you want to Google map me, just type in 48 Barker Road, and you can follow along on your home version of The Price is Right. Do you remember that when I used to have home version of game shows? It's like, be sure to play the home version of The Joker's Wild. I don't know. I don't watch game shows anymore. I rephrase that. I don't watch non-kid game shows. Family Feud. Jack Ma's house is down the road here a bit. These guys are all stuck. This guy's going to back up into this guy. Little less conversation. What did they think of the royal wedding? What, my wife? The crazy, hopeless romantic who loved every minute of it? Or the average Hong Konger? Not sure. You got to remember, Hong Kong used to be part of the British Empire. It would have been in fact, 20, 30 years ago, a royal wedding would have been a holiday, so everybody would have been drunk. I think the average people watched it with amusement and merriment, but it didn't, stop their day. It actually came on towards the evening, so it happened, after work. I think the actual ceremony started at 7 p.m. Hong Kong time, so 7 p.m. Saturday night. So most people were home and having dinner, and they just flipped on the wedding just as something to see. It was fun reading Twitter during the wedding. It's always fun reading Twitter during a big event like the Oscars or a wedding or something like that. The Brits were appalled by the pastor's sermon. They were like, my God, he's so over the top. The Americans were like, God, this guy's really calm. This is like the most mellow African-American preacher I've ever heard. When we moved over here, the love of a good woman. My wife was assigned over here, and I followed her on a job with our kids because actually I like it here. I really do like it here. I don't know how long we're going to stay, but I've been here 8 years now. If I had the financial resources, I'd stay forever, but I don't have those financial resources. Do they talk about the school shootings here? Yes, so they just have a general tisk-tisk. In fact, they had a protest at the U.S. Embassy. The American school kids actually joined in the nationwide or the world, whatever, day of protest, and they marched to the U.S. consulate. But, honestly, it was the royal wedding. As someone has said, someone was complaining, it's like, I can't believe the royal wedding knocked a school shooting off the front pages of the paper. And then some other guy said, oh, don't worry, there'll be another school shooting next month. Which was really kind of true and sad at the same time. Yeah, alert the media. It is messed up. It is messed up, but I guess we seem to be on kind of a streak right now. We had 24 murders in Hong Kong last year. I don't think any of them were with a gun. And we did have a couple armed robberies last year. That's so pretty up here. Oh, I'm hungry. See, now I'm starting to second guess noodles. My stomach is a little bit empty. It's the idea of putting noodles on an empty stomach is actually not that good. So I'm kind of wondering, what else could I eat? Maybe I could have cereal before I go out to eat lunch. I didn't have fish and chips last week. That's probably one of the first weeks in a month. I don't think we'll do gourmet McDonald's today because we did Shake Shack over the weekend. Yeah, Actually, we did Shake Shack twice last week. So gourmet McDonald's, it's a lot. I do a long walk. This is actually half of my daily walk. I do about 20,000 steps a day. That's about 10 miles in dog years. So this is about a 4 or 5 mile hike I do every morning, and then I do another 4 or 5 miles throughout the day, walking around the city, doing this, that, and the other thing. This is Jack Ma's house, founder of Alibaba.com. He paid $193 million for this house and then tore it down to start all over again. Because if you can spend $200 million US on a house, you might as well get the one that you really, really want, not one that somebody else has already, walked around naked in and spilled stuff and precious bodily fluids and all that. Purity of essence. Making 1960s movies references to see who else is as old as I am, or at least a film student. You remember when everything was in dog ears? I mean, when I was a kid, this is Fido. He eats Alamo. He eats Alpo, and that means he's like 87 in dog ears. I mean, when I was a kid, everything was in dog ears. I didn't know what the hell dog ears was. I asked my dad, Dad, is there a mathematical formula for dog ears? And he's like, no, it's a marketing ploy. I was like, okay. And then this massive illusion of a separate set of time, a time in which things move faster, in which you could move freely between dimensions. The dimensions of dog ears crashed to the ground as just a marketer's scam. I thought I was onto something. I thought I was going to get the Nobel Prize for time travel. And then I learned that dog ears just didn't matter. How hot is it there? It's hot, hot, hot. It's about 29 Celsius right now, maybe 30 Celsius. It's going up to about 32 to 34 Celsius. That's like mid-90s today, 92, 95. It's not that humid today right now. It's about 50, 60%, about 60% humidity, but it's going to go up to about 90% humidity later as the day goes on and as the sun evaporates a lot of moisture over the ocean and then dumps it on us. So it will get sticky later today, hot and sticky. And the forecast for this week is hot and sticky pretty much every single day until next week, Tuesday, where there is a hint of rain. Glorious rain. You miss Hong Kong? I live here. I've lived here 8 years. This is my home. I live just down in the mid-levels where we're hiking right now. We're hiking in the peak, Barker Road, and we're going home. Hong Kong is a very tough place to leave. There is pretty much nowhere else on earth that is like this place. And a lot of people really do miss it. It is summer here. We are in the northern hemisphere. We have the same seasons as you do. We don't have the extremes though. We don't get that hot, believe it or not. I don't think it's gone above 100 basically ever. It's rarely ever gone above 100, and it rarely ever goes below, say, 40 degrees, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So rarely above 100 Fahrenheit, rarely below 40. We are 1 degrees latitude in the tropics. Though technically they call our climate subtropical. I guess that's subtropical because we are sub, duh. Yeah. They don't really call it tropical climate, they just call it subtropical. We are sub. We are below the tropics, so whatever. It's a very safe place. It's one of the safest places in the world. That's something that scares us a lot if we have to return to the United States. Is our children's safety, our safety. Just the general attitude you have to have all the time, that attitude of being sort of defensive and alert and basically code yellow. You're basically walking through life in code yellow. And right here, talk about we walk through life like bandits. My wife has a job as a banker. I have a job doing other cool stuff. It's nice because it's safe, you don't think anything. You don't even think second about going out at like 9:30 for dinner, just walking down the neighborhood to get some dinner. And because you're out walking in the neighborhood, your neighbors are out walking in the neighborhood. And because you see your neighbors, you know what's up. And then because everybody's out, there's no real crime. And because there's all these people out, the stores are open. So it's 10 o'clock and you can walk down the street and there's all these stores open and there's all these people you know, and it's just great. Lives in Vietnam. He don't like Hong Kong, but you're from Canada. Oh, Well, it depends where you live and how you live. I mean, if you can afford to live the upper middle class West lifestyle here in Hong Kong, I assure you it's quite a bit fun. But for each his own, you know, depends what you like. Some people find Hong Kong too crowded. Some people find it isolating. Like actually parochial. You can get into some areas of Hong Kong and be quite isolated from everyone. It is, however, extraordinarily expensive. It's one of the most expensive cities in the world. And as such, it's not really sustainable long term. I mean, if I had to spare $4 million US, I could buy my tiny 1,000 square foot apartment. Yeah, $4 million US for my 1,000 square foot apartment. You're from Canada. There's actually a lot of Canadians here in Hong Kong, many Chinese Canadians, and vice versa. A lot of Hong Kongers in Vancouver. That's why you can't buy a house in Vancouver unless you're a millionaire. You visit every 3 to 4 years. Oh, wow. It changes every 3 to 4 months. I bet if you come back, you'll be like, what happened to this place? What happened to that place? Oh, my God, what's this? That's how I was yesterday. I found a new dumpling house. I was like, what? I think it opens today, actually. What's that question? How are the drone laws? It's actually pretty open. You can pretty much, as long as you don't fly by the airport, which is pretty much a universal rule, never fly a drone near an airport, and don't fly over the harbor, which is where the helicopters are, and don't fly at night. They're pretty cool. I think you're supposed to stay about 300 feet above launch position, but the problem is, you know, you launch at 1,900 feet on a mountain, and, you know, wow, you're 2,000 feet up over the entire city, and you have an amazing view. If you go back a few videos, I did a drone flight at night. Don't tell anybody I did it at night. And showed you a bit of the skyline of Hong Kong. It was kind of pretty. Why is it so safe there? What are they doing to keep it safe? Well, basically, take every idea anyone has ever proposed in the United States for making things safer and then implementing it, all right? So we have more police on the streets, and we have police actually walking a foot patrol, not stuck in a car, isolated from the neighborhood. We have more private security guards guarding the buildings. We have tougher sentencing laws in the courts. We have families that have a sense of shame. Being a criminal loses face. We have families that are very strong. Uncles watch after cousins and nephews. We have a good education system and a strong emphasis on education, so people are going to study in their free time, not hanging out on the stoop. We have a strong economy, so there are a lot of jobs, and it is easy to make a lot of money if you are talented and successful. We also have no guns. Gun control is complete and total here. So when you add all those factors together, you have overall a much, much lower crime rate. Coming next week for 10 years stay. That's not to say crime doesn't exist. I'm not facetious, I'm not stupid. But if you look at the numbers, it's very, very minimal. I mean, just violent crime is very low. Are people banned from the peak at night? No. You can walk around here. It's actually the only reason I don't go on the peak at night is because of snakes. There are a lot of nocturnal snakes. A lot of snakes that come out. The snakes come out at night. 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 And they bite. So I don't go out at night up here. Where am I from? I'm from Washington, D.C., but I grew up in Illinois. That's why I have that sort of Midwestern average American accent. I sound pretty much like, well, let's put it this way. All the big companies open call centers where I live. Why? Because the people in my town speak the most normal sounding American English that can be understood by people all over the country. I think it's called Iowa Plains English or American. Hey, yeah, it's pretty. So right now we're on the Central Green Trail, also known as Chatham Path, C-H-A-T-H-A-M Path, Chatham Path. And we are making our way down from the peak to the mid-levels, from Barker Road down to May Road. May Road is where I live. From Illinois is where I grew up, but from Washington, D.C. the last 20-odd years or so. But I've lived here in Hong Kong about over 8 years. Dang. When we moved here, we thought we'd stay a few months. To be honest, we thought we were going to be returning to America right away. That's why we brought only our crappy silverware and crappy dishes. It wasn't until about 3 years in we sort of said, you know what, I think we're going to stay here a while. It's funny, 30 days before we left America, I almost bought a new car. I was like, why don't we just buy the car now and we'll have it when we come back. And boy, am I glad I did not do that. That would have been a tremendous expense. So this is where I saw that green snake last week. Boy, they need to cut the trees. They need to trim the bushes here. It's getting a little hairy. Interesting. Halfway rock, halfway down this path. Whew. Take a slight break. There's a pretty view there. What time is it now? Let's take a look at our second clock. Camera 2 says it is 10:49. And we are making our way down. Means we're probably going to get home about 11. I could shower and get down. Earliest I can get to the... Dang, that snake is still there. I heard you. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to mess with it today. That's where I ran into the other day. I just heard him slither away quickly. It is Monday here. Monday. Can't trust that day. Now you got me singing Mamas and Papas. Dude, why did you have to ask? Oh, man. Need to get something else in my head. Despacito. No, not that. No, I gotta think of a new song to sing before I get Mamas and Papas stuck in my head all day long. That would be disastrous. Pop music, pop music, radio, video. Boogie with a suitcase. You're living in a disco. Forget about the rat race. Wanna be a gunslinger, don't be a gunslinger. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, everywhere you wanna go. Talk about pop music. Talk about pop music. Doobie doo wop. There we go. So we got pop music in our head now. We have displaced the Mamas and Papas, and I think we're okay. I think we'll be okay. Osaka, how you doing? My son's best friend is moving to Osaka. Actually, he's moving to a suburb of Osaka this summer. Whether some suburb of Osaka is supposed to be like the Beverly Hills of Japan. And they're going to move over there. I'll stay with that. She's at HKUST. HKUST is up over there. It's a beautiful campus. Have you visited? The campus is amazing. It's right on the water. A little bit far from the rest of the city because you have to take a bus to get there. But on campus itself is quite pretty if you get a view of the ocean. To Melanie in Colombia. How's it going, Colombia? Isn't Colombia in the World Cup? I was just doing a World Cup poll, and I think Colombia is in the World Cup. Went there last week. Cool. Actually, it's really cool. Near the campus of HKUST is an abandoned movie studio where they film like Chinese empress stories. So you like walk through the gates and suddenly it's like you're in like 18th century China, you know, with all these old buildings and flying kung fu people. I'm looking forward to seeing the World Cup. Yeah, I got to figure that out because we're going to travel in the middle of it. So I have to make sure we can watch the World Cup at both locations here in Hong Kong and wherever we end up. for our summer vacation. This is the Central Green Trail. Central Green Trail. This extends from Victoria's Peak to Central Hong Kong, the Peak tram station. And if you don't want to take the Peak tram, this is how you get up to the Peak. It's about a 45-minute walk, maybe an hour walk up, 45 minutes down. It is a heck of a walk. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a good workout going up. If you're looking to recommend it to your daughter, I would. It's actually a nice path. Have her friends take a hike up to the Peak. It's something you have to do in Hong Kong. You have to say, I walked up to the Peak. Though there are other hiking trails that are far more rigorous. The Twins is a hiking trail on the south side of the island. The Dragon's Back is a gorgeous hike. Sharp's Peak up in the New Territories. There are a lot of things. She's been there. Yeah, she's done it good. She's probably done a lot. She's probably seen a lot. It's coming to the end of the school year. You took a cab? Oh, well, I understand. I've done that too. If there's two people, it's actually cheaper to take a cab than it is to take the tram. And you can just walk down. We're almost to May Road. Another 2 turns or so, we'll be down there. And we're going to go home, take a quick shower, and then make our way to lunch. Today's probably going to be a 3-shirt day. Means I'm going to wear 3 different shirts today because the one I'm wearing now is already just toast. There's no way I'm going to continue wearing this shirt today. So then I'm going to switch to my second shirt after my shower, and I suspect after walking around the city for a few hours, that shirt's going to be toast. So we'll have a third dinner shirt. So the nanny is probably going to call this a 3-shirt day. My nanny sometimes looks at me like, God, you wear a lot of clothes. You hated Bubba Gums. My son puked an entire bucket of shrimp back into the bucket at Bubba Gums. It was actually an amazing mathematical thing. So my kid ate like a whole bucket of shrimp. This is when he's like 5. And then he started puking it back up. And actually, he puked up more volume than the bucket would hold. We had to get a second bucket. And I was like, dude, if you ate 1 bucket of shrimp, what else are you throwing up? Yeah, that was fun. My kid really liked puking when he was a kid, yeah. He threw up. Yeah, they went to this like really fancy crepe restaurant, and then he puked the crepes up. And then went to Bubba Gum Shrimp, and he puked up that. He's kind of outgrown that now. My kids were born in the United States, but my youngest was only 18 months when we moved to Hong Kong. My elder was about 3.5, so they don't really remember much about life in America. They basically don't remember anything. Hell, they don't remember some things about life in Hong Kong. I'm like, remember the time we went to this? And they're like, no. I'm like, wow. These are the same dudes that passed me on the Peak. Yeah, there's a lot of cars. This is the Toyota Alphard and Velfire. This is the standard limo car of Hudson Alphard of Hong Kong. They're much easier to get in and out of than limousines or Ferraris. So basically all the bankers drive Toyota Alphards. It's not driving, they have a driver that drives the Alphard and drops them off. May Road, M-A-Y. That's where I live. Mui Do, Sapyat Ho, Mui Do, Sapi Ho, Mui Do. It's number 11 and number 12, the road where I usually get off. I've been here 8 years. It's my home. I am a permanent resident of Hong Kong. I have the right of abode. So basically, I can stay here as long as I want. It's actually cool. It's also basically healthcare for life. Yeah. Basically, I have medical care cover for life. I'm a resident in Japan. Japanese citizenship is pretty hard to get, I think. Unless you're married to a Japanese. My kids go to an American international school. English is the primary language of instruction. However, they do learn Mandarin every day of the week. They have a Mandarin class every single day. And the medical care is free. It's paid for by the government. It is Western standards of medical care. That doesn't mean there's not delays and, sometimes long delays for non-acute care cases. But most of the doctors are educated in the UK or in Australia. They speak English. And, pretty good. I've got all the machines that go ping. Private healthcare here is actually very advanced. It is, however, very expensive. It's about, nothing's more expensive than the United States, but private healthcare here is about 70% of the costs of the United States. The tallest building on Hong Kong Island is the IFC Tower, which you're going to see here on the right in just a moment. There it is. But the tallest building in Hong Kong is the ICC, which is down there. I wonder if I should help them. Screw them. It's 11? I thought it was a little bit later than that. Could be 11. If it's 11 o'clock in New York, it's 11 o'clock here. Oh, there's home. 38 stories, very small. See, that building is about 50, and this one over there is like 70 or something like that. So guys, we're about finished with our hike. We're going to take you out for lunch in about a half hour. Not quite sure where. Maybe noodles. Maybe we'll just dilly-dally and get something else today. I do live here. I live in this building right up in front of us. Hey, New York. Ooh, there's a big dog poop in front of me. Just missed it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that little hike. I'm here every day. I'll be back in about a half hour or so. You went to the Sky Bar. That's cool. My rent, $8,500 US a month. $8,500 US per month. 3-bedroom, 1,000 square feet. And that's cheap. That's cheap for this neighborhood. Alrighty. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.